Do you get a Mac or do you get an iPad? This is a question that Apple has asked us for years, and it's still really hard to answer because the iPad and the Mac are still pretty different computing types. The iPad Pro does double down on its strengths. It's a much faster processor, there's a nicer pencil, but you have to buy a new one, and it works via USB-C, although it doesn't work with all accessories. So let's take a look at what it can do and what it can't. The iPad Pro's design is really refined now and looks really sharp, compressing the screen-to-body ratio and making for an overall more compact tablet. It's a lot better looking than it used to be. The 12.9-inch version has shrunken down to land in between last year's 10.5 and 12.9-inch versions, while having the same screen size as last year. The less expensive 11-inch model, which adds more screen into the 10.5 size, is what I'd prefer, but at least the 12-inch version isn't crazy big anymore. But these iPad Pros are also more expensive. Now they start at $799 or $999 with 64 gigabytes of storage and go all the way up from there. If you go for a whopping terabyte SSD and cellular, the 12.9-inch iPad Pro costs $1,899. And that's not including accessories you'd want: a $129 pencil, a $200 keyboard folio case, and you better consider Bluetooth or USB-C headphones or a USB-C dongle or two. That's more than many MacBooks cost. In a lot of ways, the new iPad Pros are basically kind of like the iPad 10 because they work a lot like the iPhone 10 models. They have the same front-facing Face ID camera. Over here, there's a notch, but on the iPad Pro, there isn't. It blends into the bezel and is basically invisible. It has the same curved corners that are in the iPhone 10 displays. It has the same swipe gestures for the most part because there's no more home button. And it has a souped-up version of the A12 processor that's in these phones in the most recent XS and XR. This is the A12X and has better graphics and better multitasking. If you want to multitask, you can really only put two apps side by side, say Safari and Twitter. I wish you could put more or even be able to position them in little windows. Face ID works just like the iPhone 10 and supports the same functions: iPad unlock, Apple Pay, iTunes purchases, and automatically entering passwords for accounts. Setup needs to be done in portrait mode, but after that, it works fine in portrait or landscape in any direction, but the iPad may sometimes ask you where to look. The front-facing camera has the same depth sensing technology as the iPhone XS, so it also takes portrait selfies. The iPad can also do Memoji and Animoji just like the iPhone 10 because of that true depth camera, which I like because I can now do this in every single video. Of course, you don't want to be the weird person taking iPad photos in public, but if you do, it takes some really nice shots. How do you navigate this thing? Well, the gesture language is pretty much the same as the iPhone 10 with a few extra wrinkles for iPad users. You swipe down to get notifications, and if you want to get to the control center, you have to swipe from the top corner, which is a little bit annoying. And if you want to get to the home screen once you're inside an app, well then you just swipe from the bottom all the way up and swipe the app away. But if you want to get to the app dock, you have to do like a half swipe. You have to swipe up a little bit to get to the apps that you want to select. And if you want to get to the apps that are already open, you swipe a little bit more, swipe a little bit more, so it gets a little confusing to get to the open apps. Getting that feel for how much you have to swipe can get a little bit strange sometimes. The nicest thing about the pencil is that it finally has a place to go. Not only will it not roll off the table because the side is flat, but it magnetically charges and sticks to the side of the iPad. You don't have to worry about where else to put it, whether you're sticking it in your pocket or trying to stick it into your ear or put it in your mouth. You don't have to put it in your mouth anymore. You can just click it to the side of the iPad. There, done. The new pencil has capacitive double tap, almost like AirPods. It does only one thing per app though, and not many apps support it yet. Notes lets you switch between your pen and your eraser. But the really annoying thing about Pencil is you'll need to buy a new one. Old Apple Pencils won't work with it, which is ridiculous. And the new Pencil won't work with older iPads. The rest of Pencil's drawing sensitivity and latency seems similar to the older one. But I mostly draw Triceratops, so I talked to a real artist instead.
I've been in print for 40 years. Drawing on paper, and then the last 4 years drawing on the iPad. I do a lot of live drawing, a lot of, I call it digital journalism, visual journalism, where I travel around and draw what I see. And so having it portable obviously is great. I don't call myself a caricaturist, because I was never trained to do that. I seem to be able to do it a little bit more easily on the iPad. The ability to erase a line instantaneously, so you just keep making the mark until you think it's right. I'm not used to the feel of this yet. It has a little bit more pull than the previous iPad. It was much more loose and fluid. It pulls more like a real pencil. And I'll get used to it, but I really got used to the old pencil that was really loose and fluid, and I liked what it did to my work, because my work is really quick and relaxed. I think I'm done. What do you think?
Oh, wow. That's really good. It looks a lot better than me. The iPad Pro now has USB-C, replacing Lightning, which seems like a big move. It's not as wild as you might expect. Its coolest trick is that you can reverse charge phones or just about anything else. Accessories are more hit and miss. Third-party dongles can be used instead of Apple's. Also, while this iPad gained USB-C, it dropped both Lightning and a headphone jack. So for headphones, you're going to need something Bluetooth, USB-C, or find an adapter. Well, you think hopefully the iPad will finally connect to external monitors and do cool things, but the new iPad Pro has limitations. In fact, in its default, if you plug in with an adapter, say a USB-C to HDMI to a monitor, it's just going to show you a mirrored image, just like it did before with Lightning to HDMI adapters. And it's pillar boxed, so it doesn't take advantage of anything on the monitor, and you can't do a second screen. Now, third-party apps will take advantage of second displays up to 5K resolution. There aren't really very many yet. But you can see, for instance, a movie trailer, like this one for Bernie the Dolphin, will take advantage of the whole display right there to enjoy Bernie the Dolphin in all its glory. And wasn't the dream of USB-C to skip having a dongle altogether? Well, it doesn't always work like that. In fact, I tried connecting USB-C to this Dell USB-C monitor, and unfortunately, it didn't work. Until more apps and accessory solutions arrive to make the most of this new iPad Pro, it's a pretty hard tablet to judge. Is the iPad Pro for you? Well, if you're an art professional who's already liked the idea of what the iPad brought to the table, sure, this is great if you can afford it. But if you're somebody who's wanted this to replace your Mac, someone like me who's like a real serious writer, it's not exactly my perfect device. Is it for you? I have no idea. But check out that question mark, that's pretty amazing. You didn't deserve this pencil. Good night, sweet prince.
Did you just bury something in that plant?
Yes, I buried $100.